Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, people. Today we're going to do a spoiler review, of a sense, of Avengers Endgame. And I'm going to be reading off my computer, so bear with me while I don't look at the camera. And this is why I say Endgame sucks from an objective standpoint, without bias. Plot hole 1. We're going over 6 major plot holes, in my opinion. How did Thanos' ship get through time? You needed the quantum GPS, right? Nebula needed the GPS to get back to the future, the evil Nebula, that is, because they found out, because when Nebula went back to the past, her past self and her started doing cross-synaptic firing or something like that. And it's like, okay, fine. You guys created a million time paradoxes. But anyway, how did Thanos' ship get back through time, or go through time? Sure, there was the Pym particle that would help shrink his ship down, but there's no quantum device to send them back. Doesn't make sense. Also, how does Nebula know how to work, or how does evil Nebula even know how to work that damn machine? Nebula didn't even know how to work the machine, or at least they never showed it. So, it makes no sense. Plot hole number 2. Their whole mission was to not change the past by returning the stones to their respective locations, right? Yes, that's all good. They did. How could Steve return the Soul Stone to Vormir? He needs a ship to get there. Also, he would have came into contact with the Red Skull. I don't care how much Red Skull's character has changed. Him seeing the man that was ultimately responsible for his demise would have pissed him off, and they would have fought. So yeah, there's that as well. How did they get how did they get the Space Stone back into the Tesseract Cube? They don't explain it. How did they get the Mind Stone back into the Scepter Gem? They don't explain it. So yeah, they created time paradoxes where Vision would never come to be. And they also would have created a time paradox where Captain Marvel could never be, because the Tesseract would or has to be encased in or the stone has to be encased in the Tesseract in order for it to be truly wielded and whatnot. Plot hole number 3. How did Steve get back to the main timeline after he changed the past and therefore created an alternate timeline? Here's the real one. Here's him going back to the past to stay with Peggy. How did he take the long way and suddenly jump to the main timeline as an old Cap? It makes no sense. So, yeah. He basically created a time paradox, in a sense. No, wait, he didn't create the paradox. Nebula did create a paradox. How did she kill her past self and not die and whatnot? I'm sorry, you can't say the whole mechanical stuff. She does have a measure of, I'm guessing she does have a measure of organic in her still. Let's see, plot hole 4. By failing to get the Tesseract in New York and letting Loki escape with it, they changed the past. How come it didn't affect the future in any way? He's now out there, or he got away. Where did he go? How did the past change? How did the future change? You see where I'm getting? Plot hole number 5. If Cap returned, well, basically I covered this in the other plot hole where he was returning the stone to Vormir. But yeah, basically, Captain and Red Skull would have fought. I don't care how much Red Skull's character has changed and he's just a guide and whatnot. No, I don't believe that for 1 second. He would have gone after Steve, and Steve would have fought him as well. Number 6, you need to get your head smacked real hard to break out of the Scepter's influence, or you need Scarlet Witch's magic to break out of the Scepter's influence. Captain America in the movie uses the Scepter on his past self. So he left Cap walking around with the Scepter's influence on him in the past. Not good. Not good at all. So basically they broke all of their own rules, creating multitude of branched timelines. Even if you return a couple of those stones back to the past, you have to return them in their casings. Otherwise, things are still going to change. They don't explain how they did that. So yeah, they screwed up. Now, other things that I didn't like, because I got some more time to cover here. I didn't like how they did Professor Hulk. Brain and brawn all in one package. In the comics, he was a fighter. He was very good. And there is a chance he would want to go after Thanos. Why didn't we get the fight? That, or the rematch? You know? Also, why did they do what Thor did, or what they did with Thor? They emasculated Hulk and Thor in this movie, basically to give Captain Marvel her time to shine and her future shining self in frickin' the MCU. Pisses me off. As you all know, I'm not a fan of Captain Marvel, but yeah, her getting headbutt by Thanos made no sense. Where she didn't even flinch. Stunk! She's like, stunk! It's like, what? Okay, what? So yeah, but I did absolutely love it when Thanos took the Power Stone off and then basically punched her so freaking hard she flew out of off screen and was basically forgot until the funeral. That was priceless. Oh God, I loved it. The cringiest moment of the movie was the whole woman power, where all the females suddenly synced their cycles and ended up in one spot on the entire battlefield. How does that work? How the hell does that work? Again, it makes no sense. And I was watching a live stream of a couple other guys that I follow on here. Basically, one guy said it best. It was basically a vagina hive mind with the whole woman power stuff. I do like how Scarlet Witch cut loose on Thanos. That was good. But I digress. Getting back to the whole Thor thing, they made him weaker because they needed Captain Marvel to be stronger. She came in flying like Superman. Yes, I understand she was needed at that point. I'm glad they only put her in this movie for 15 minutes. It was 2 hours, 45 minutes of bliss not having that woman in this movie. Now, even when she was in the movie, yes, she was insufferable in some parts, but it also didn't make, or she was OP. She was overpowered. Oh, God. Objectively, I cannot like this movie. subjectively, I really can't like this movie because I don't like identity politics in my movies. I really don't. Also, if you're going to have an openly gay character that Joe Russo played with his cameo during the therapy scene, how does that serve the plot? If you're going to have this happen, where you have an openly gay character, as they all made it out to be in the news, how does it serve the plot? I'm sorry, but gay people in the real world is accepted as a normality. Not an abnormality, a normality. People accept it. Maybe not everybody, but the people who don't are the religious people and whatnot, and the bigots, and they're also known as an extreme minority, measured against billions of people. So, the LGBT community, it's accepted. It is. So why do you feel the need to celebrate it as this horribly underrepresented thing in movies? It shouldn't even matter because it's an acceptance of society. You see, you guys in Marvel are doing all this identity woke politics bullshit, and people aren't liking it. I'm one of those people who don't like it because you all are going to call me a racist, homophobe, sexist, and whatnot. If that is all true, well, then I wouldn't have liked Carolina Dean in the comics. She's a lesbian. I wouldn't have liked Moondragon and Phyla-Vell in the comics. Lesbians. I wouldn't have liked, let's see here, that covers the homophobe trash being overwritten. The sexist, you guys are going to call me that. I actually like a lot of female characters. She-Hulk, X-23 is my favorite Marvel character. She's female last time I checked. She's my favorite Marvel character. I used to joke about her being my Marvel wife. The adult X-23 people. Because in the comics, she's an adult. Now, you guys are going to come at me with the racist thing. I like Blue Marvel, man. Blue Marvel's a black guy. And he kicks ass. I like a multitude of dark or different race characters. Faiza Hussein, who wields Excalibur. Yes, King Arthur's sword, Excalibur. She's a Muslim. Yeah, I have no problem with her character. She's a great character. I also have no problem with Colleen Wing, who's Asian. Another great character. I have no problem with Kamala Khan. Another great character. I believe she's Indian. I have no problem with Omega Sentinel, who's Indian. So if you're going to call me racist, check your bullshit. Yes, I have swearing in this, so I don't care if people complain. I'm sorry. This is how you guys have got me today. So yeah. You guys can call me all that crap all you want. I know for a fact it's not true. And that's all that matters. It truly is. So in closing, Endgame, subjectively and objectively, it sucks. As my moviegoer review side, it's a good movie. It's entertaining. As a moviegoer who doesn't deconstruct movies, it is a great movie because it provides entertainment. That is a moviegoer. Someone who goes to see a movie not to break it down, but to be entertained. And this movie is entertaining from a moviegoer's standpoint. So yes, objectively and subjectively sucks. Moviegoer, good. Gotta go, folks. Take it easy.